Dragon Ball community, welcome back to another video as we continue to go through the anniversary box support, and we're going to be going over the Super Saiyan 2 Reboot Trunks leader that is getting a really fresh looking SLR in the anniversary box. And this leader was already rebooted once. However, Bandai really didn't fix one of the problems with this deck, which was a ruling with face-up life, and I'm not going to go into it in the video, but they did kind of ruin that a little bit, so part of the deck's ability is sort of gone. During your opponent's turn, what's nice about this leader is that if you were to take a card from your life, add to your hand or place it on the drop, you may reveal it and then add it to your hand instead, which means you don't take crit, which is really strong against some matchups where your opponent would try to crit you down. You don't take crit at all. So that's a nice little feature to have. On the front side, you search top 5 when you attack for a Saiyan or an Earthling that costs 4 or less, or a 2-cost Unison, and then you awaken when you have 4 life or less, or a player. When a player has 4 life or less. So it's either you or your opponent, or a player has 3 or more Z energy. So you can also awaken when your opponent has 3 Z energy, and then you are a restand 1, draw 1. On the Awakened side, same permanent. When you attack now, you'll draw a card. At the end of your turn, regardless, unless your leader's blanked for some reason, you will restand 1 mono blue energy. And then for 2 energy, you can draw a card, bottom deck any of your opponent's battle cards. And then if you have a mono blue Z battle card that costs 5 or more, that card gets 10k and double strike for the turn. Okay, so a lot of energy restoration, a lot of drawing. Has some in-leader effect for board removal. All very good stuff. So we'll go over the list. So we have our 1-drop packages. All of these 1-drops here, these are pretty typical. I would say these 3, the Peel Off, the Android 17, and the Chila, are probably cards you're going to see in most blue decks. This Vegeta here is the new Vegeta for the deck, which is called Blue Strike. This has a permanent that if all of your energy is mono blue and this card is revealed from your hand, you may play it instead. And when this card is played, you draw 1. So you can play it for 1 energy, or if you end up taking it off of your life, you can reveal it and play it instead. Has another effect, activate main, if your leader is a blue Trunks, and you add 1 card from your energy to your Z energy, you can add this card from your energy, to your energy in rest mode. So this allows you to, let's say you play this, you draw a card, you can put the card you tapped for this into your Z energy, and then put this into your energy, so you're actually not losing any energy. Really cool effect. Pairing this with the Chilai just gives you 6 targets early that allow you to Z charge. This card has a counterattack effect. You tap 1, you draw a card, and then combo this card from your hand. And then at the end of the battle, when this card is used in a combo from your hand, you can tap another blue to then play it from the drop. And then when this card's played, you draw a card. So it's either just a cantrip, draw 1, or when you combo it from your hand, you can tap 1 as in the counterattack step to draw a card. So that's also really good. This card can technically draw you 2 if you do it that way. And then you can use it later on as combo power to build your Z energy. We have Peel Off Shunmai, Android 17. I don't think we need to go over those 2 cards, but this is one of your floodgates and something you can use as a Z energy, anti-Z energy card, but also as a cantrip and also removing keyword skills. So all very, very good 1-drops. And they're all searchable, except for 17. 17 is not an Earthling nor a Saiyan. We have another card that allows us to build Z energy, which is the Preparing for the Final Battle Goku. Taps 1, draws adds a card from your life to your hand, and then you can Z charge this to draw a card and discard a card. And then when this card is removed, you give a Z leader 5k for the turn, which we do not have a Z leader for this deck, so that part does not matter. Okay, so now we have the ramp package for the deck, and I do think this is actually really good to play. For the particular build that I have here. So Hope for Victory and Blaze of Passion have the same exact effect. I know they're both errated here. So basically, both of these have the same permanent as the other Vegeta. If they are revealed from your life, you can play it. These cards are placed in your energy and rest mode, and then you draw a card. So they replace themselves and they give you temporary ramp, right? Auto, at the end of your next turn after you place this card in your energy by this card's skill, if this card is in your energy, place it in the drop. So this is, they kind of nerfed this to where there is a way where you actually could ramp with this a little bit differently. So where you're able to use like Zeno, but now you can't. So with this card, what essentially you do is that if you take a hit, you'll put this into your energy. You then play this Goku in Vegeta, and then this will allow you to make those a permanent ramp. So this is a new card as well, Blue Duo. You need 3 energy, which on turn 2 or turn 1, I guess, if you hit one of these guys into your energy, then you'll charge for turn, you'll be at 3. You'll draw a card, you'll play this card. When this card is played, you may play 1 Son Goku or Vegeta, both green, both blue, and energy cost of 3 in rest mode from your energy with its skills negated for the game. If you do, add the top card of your deck to your energy in rest mode. So this allows you to ramp permanently, which typically, I think you're probably going to want to ramp at least once. If you ramp twice in a game, that's fantastic. If you ramp once, I think it's sort of ideal. Because typically you don't know what's going to be in your life. And since the cards for the archetype put your cards in your life face up, or at least some of them do, you can't even use those to even like choose to grab these, which is just really stupid. So this is sort of your ramp package here. This being a 20k is really strong. It's got the flex so they can't interact with it. And then this also gives you another fusion target if you decide to go and play the Patora engine with the Vegetos. For Super Combo, we just chose Goku for this deck. 2 Goku Blacks. Very strong combat trick that hits 4 cost or less, so this is really good into Vegeta. We have 4 Hero Prospect. We are going to be playing Unison, so this is just another one of your floodgates. It's also searchable. 2 Emotional Blows, which we'll get to the 8 drops here in a second, but you can play this card also off of your life. If this card is hit from your life, you can play it from your hand instead. And then when this card attacks, you bottom deck a card ignoring barrier, and then you also can negate indestructible on that card as well. And this is a 20k crit. Also can play it for 1 if you have a battle card in play that's 8 cost or more, or an original power of 30k or more in play. Then we have a Golden Baby. This is one of your counters that we're going to play in the deck. 8 drops here. These are pretty, I think, standard blue cards. We have Oob, which will give us some board removal. Draws you a card. We have the Vegeta, which is an anti-counterattack by removing one of your Z cards in your battle area or unison area from the game. The 35k dual attacker. Again, you can stop one of your opponent's floodgates by using this card. It's permanent. And then Broly is probably the most used one right now. Cost 2 at any point in the game. Once you do that, activate main, you can restand this card and then bottom deck a card on board. If you have 3 more energy, this card will restand and then you'll get double strike. So you also can just play it on turn 2 and then just use it the bottom deck a card. That's really strong as well. So 35k is also for 2 energy. It's also just really powerful. We have 2 of the 7 cost Kefla and Ultimate Patora Fusion Bond. This is an old promo from what, 2023? So triple strike. When this card is played from your hand, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, place it at the bottom of the deck, and then choose up to 1 blue Kale leader and place 2 cards from your leader. We don't care about that part, but what we do is at the bottom deck, any card ignoring barrier. When this card attacks, draw 3 cards, and then your opponent places 3 cards from their hand at the bottom of their deck. So again, just really good hand control of this. Obviously, some people can play Turning the Tide. I like this because it's also a 5k. And as you notice, we don't have any 10Ks other than this guy right now, right? So we're just keeping it a little, light on the 10Ks. Also, like, if you get to the point where you can slam this down on 7 energy, which would probably be typically like turn 5, but you might be able to get it a turn earlier on turn 4 if you hit multiple of these. And I don't think you can play... I think you can hit multiple of these. So if you hit 2 of these and then a Vegeta from your life, right, if your opponent aggroes you down, you can technically play out all of these guys. You'll lose the energy the next turn because you're not going to be able to play multiple of these to replace them, but you can still probably cheat out something like this, which is kind of cool. And our secret rare is going to be Kaioken Goku. Now this is something that a lot of people aren't playing right now, and a lot of people are, whether the blue decks are playing Beast or they're playing Hatch, I think this is a really good idea to look at. So Kaioken, this is an older secret rare. This is actually was in a national winning deck. If your opponent has 4 more energy when this card's played, you can switch all your blue mono energy to active mode. And this card gets reduced by 3 for each card in your opponent's energy. So it's going to come out for 2. So on, say, turn 7, or let's say you have 7 energy, you can spend 5 energy, right? You can like play a baby ape or just do a bunch of stuff, slam this down for 2, restand all of your energy, and I have 7 new energy to play with, plus this guy's a triple attacker, right? So now you can slam down Kefla, you can keep up energy for baby, you can do so many other things. It just gives you so many more lines of play, just being able to get back all that energy. So we decided to go with Kaioken Goku. Extra cards, we have D Magic, Senzu Bean, and then 2 UI Kamehamehas. Alright, so now for the Z deck. Z deck, we have 1 Goku Frieza. This is, of course, your kind of your standard unison that you should be playing. You can play the Android 18 as well, which bottom decks cards, because our leader is able to restand an energy. So you technically don't need to play this, but this is just the better one to always play because then it gives you 2 energy. 1 Deborah, of course. 1 Mai, Future Possibilities. So this came out with the deck originally, when it was printed for the Zenkai, for the Z Energy starter decks. Costs 1 and 2 Z Energy. If there is 1 or more future Trunks cards in your Z Energy when this card attacks, it gets 10k. Then as an activate main, if there are 1 or more future Trunks cards in your Z Energy during your opponent's next turn, the first time they attack the battle card that costs 5 or more, negate the attack at the start of the opponent's offensive step. So essentially just allows you to negate an attack. Now this is cool because you can play it and then just activate main and then the effect triggers. So you don't have to keep this card on board, you can just activate it once. It's a cool little tech option. Blue doesn't have a ton of different variety of like really strong blue cards. Like we're starting to get stuff, especially with like the Deborah and stuff, but I think it's just a cool little tech since you do play Trunks cards. 118 used as a defensive unison as well, but also you can use the bottom deck of your opponent's board or card from their hand to give you a little bit more hand control. We have 1 Vegito. This is the Vegito that was printed for the leader effect, since you can give it 10k and double strike, but it already has triple strike, so you don't really need to do that. But if your leader is a future Trunks, when this card attacks or activates blocker, you may add 1 life from your hand to your life. If you do, you can add 1 card from your life to your hand. So this allows you to sort of stack your life in there. So if you want to add the Goku and Vegetas or the emotional blows or the other Vegeta to your life, you can add any of those cards. And then this is going to just allow you to, you kind of get some little bit of life knowledge so you can grab those cards back. At the end of the turn, you put this card to active mode, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and place it at the bottom of your deck. And your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of the deck. So it gives you a little bit of board control and more hand destruction, which is nice. Then we have 1 Cell for board wiping. 1 Goku, which can always be replaced with the other Android 18 DVR unison, I think. This one's just not as good anymore. 1 Mighty Blast. We have 1 Android 21, and then Zamasu that we can tuck underneath it. This can absorb a card on board and also ramp you a card. So this also is a nice way of just being able to ramp 1 time. And then you can copy a keyword skill underneath this card. So you can absorb a card underneath. It also Z-stacks 1. So this is the best one to do in non-red matchups because you can give your leader, you can give this card indestructible. Other matchups, you can just absorb this and then give it barrier, and then the card can't be at least removed that way. They have to have some sort of barrier removal. Okay, so now for the Z deck. So I do have an extra Goku in here, a Goku Black, because depending on the meta, like this card is just really strong, just giving you just a 1 drop that draws a card, 20k double strike, bottom decks anything 4 or less. Like that's in the combat step too, which is really good. So then we're going to show off the Fito package here, and I'm not playing in the main deck. I'm very indifferent about this package. I think there are some good things that this does. I also just don't think it's the best, right? So this is the new Vegito card that was printed for the deck. It's Barrier Blocker. It's Union Patora 3. I don't know why it says black energy, but it's 3 blue. You draw 2, and you have to Patora over a Goku and a Vegeta. Okay, so that means the 4-drop that we play plays out a guy, we can end up ramping into it. If you lose a blue Trunks, when this card or your opponent's card is played, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand. If you do, add 1 card from your life to your hand, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards during barrier and return to the owner's hand. So This is a really cool effect. The one problem that I have is that it's like, so you, it is a limit 1, so you can, I think you can trigger this whenever you want to, right? So you can do it obviously on the first one. 20k barrier, it's not amazing, right? It doesn't do anything else, right? It's not triple strike. It's a barrier blocker. Most colors can just remove, decks in the game can just remove this guy on play. So it's not even like a situation where they have to swing at something. So it's kind of cool, right? Like it just bounces something back. But 3 energy for this card to put into the deck, it's just not great. I think Soaring Blow is probably better. And I think Soaring Blow is probably the way you should go if you're going to play the Vegito stuff. So this is a free Union Batory, and you can fuse from the cards in your energy, which is nice. So if you have a Goku and a Vegeta in your energy, you also can use them for this. So like if you have the extra ramp guys in your energy and you can't sacrifice all of them, you can also just use them from your energy. And when this card's played, you bottom deck 2 of your opponent's battle cards. That's really good. So this just gives you instant removal. It's free, and then allows us to play into the Paralyzing Prowess Vegeta, which is a 5 cost. You need to evolve over a 5 cost. It's Deflect, Triple Strike, Barrier. When this card is played, if your leader is a future Trunks, when it's played or it attacks, your opponent bottom decks 2 cards from their hand. This is insane. Just paying 3 for this, or paying 4 for this. Like it's almost a no-brainer. Like I think you just go Paralyzing Prowess every time. This is okay, but again, I'm not super sold on this card being needed for the deck. I think Soaring Blow is the way you go if you're going to play one of the 5-drop Patoras. We have Ultimate Battle Form, SS3 Vegito. Draw 1 if you have 3 energy, 3 more energy and your leader's blue. When it's played, you bounce a card back to your opponent's hand. And then at the start of your opponent's turn, you add a non-super combo card from your energy to your hand, and then at the end, add the same amount of cards from your hand to your energy. So, one cool thing is that with the ramp guys, so this places a card at the end of the turn. You have to place this in the drop area. With Vegito, because you are the owner of your autos, you can activate this first to pick that card up and then put one down, and then this states. If this card is in your energy, place it in the owner's drop. So if it's no longer in the energy, you don't have to. So essentially, you get a free ramp as well. So I think this is probably the another way of going with the ramp, and it's also just really strong, right? Paying 2 energy, getting rid of anything, drawing a card, and then getting an energy back. Basically, ramping is it's very, very good. We have one Abuni. So some people are gonna be like, "What is this card? I've never seen this card before." For people who know, they know how powerful this card used to be, and also used to be really, really expensive. This card used to be $50 to $75 a card back in the Draft Box 5 era. So Abuni is a 20k deflect. When he's played, you play 3 afterimage tokens, which are basically like Metacooler tokens. They're 15k combo power, which are 15k power, 0 combo cost, 5k combo power. So this is essentially the Metacooler from the Yellow Broly deck. Same concept here, right? This card cannot be KO'd if there's an afterimage token in play. Then activate main, your opponent reveals the top card of their deck. If it's a battle card, you get the restand of mono blue energy at the beginning of your turn, of your opponent's next turn. So into non-green matchups, this card's really good. Right, yellow matchups, your opponent can't KO this card, so they can't swing into it. They can't blow it up with the card effects. They have to remove all the other tokens and then get rid of this card. Why I put this card in here? It's not a troll. I think if you're playing against a lot of non-green decks, being able to spam the board out with 4 bodies and then get an energy back and then get energy off your leader is very valuable. Also, because this card's very sticky and people will forget that this card can't be KO'd, they're just going to swing into it and you just go, okay, no negates. Like, okay, I want a combo card, go to 30, 35, whatever it is. You go, okay, it doesn't die, right? So this is something I think people should start looking into if you are playing this deck. This is a just really solid tech option that people are not going to be prepared for. We have the baby anti-unison card. If your opponent has 2 cost unisons in play, you can use these to bottom deck. We're going to see a lot of cooler unison next format as well. So this is a card that's going to, I think, work really well. This triggers whenever you bottom deck a card. So your leader box bottom decks cards, you have things like Goku Black and Broly and Soaring Blow and a bunch of other stuff that bottom deck stuff. So as soon as you bottom something you can tap 1, remove this card from the game, and then bottom deck a Unison. We have the Majin Buu. If you have a Z card in play, you can combo this card. When this card's combo, you can play its barrier blocker and also combos cards from the drop when it attacks or blocks. This is just a good little defense amount. I'm again not super sold on this card, but I think it's definitely a tech option to look at. We have Raditz Provoking Attack. I've talked about this card a lot, and people aren't playing it. But you need a Z card in play. It costs 2. When you play it, you negate the attack, and then you call you declare a number, and if your opponent plays a card with that power, with that original power as the card that as the number you declared, hit the bottom deck a card from their hand each time, right? So it's really strong. You can, especially with most decks, are either running 20Ks or 30Ks or 15Ks. You just call a number, and then they can't play those cards unless they want to bottom deck cards, right? And also it's a blocker, right, which is pretty good. It's a 16K, so like there's some stuff that like minuses by 15K or whatever. Like this card's gonna stick at least for 1 attack. And again, just another good little tech option for people to run. And then we have Zamasu counter, of course, for the red matchups. So that is my Trunks deck. Take a look. Honestly, I said really, I think this is something that this deck has always had a high ceiling. I've played against it a lot at our locals in Northeast Ohio. We have one of probably the better blue players in the game, who at one point we got to play against a lot. He doesn't play as much anymore, but I think this list just has a really good ceiling for it, and unfortunately part of it has to do with RNG, right? If you're hitting these Goku and Vegetas off of your life, your deck's going to run much better. If you're not hitting them off your life, it's a problem. Obviously you can play stuff like the Kai Unison that puts stuff into your life. They're just bad cards. We just don't want to add bad cards into this deck if we're trying to make it as competitive as possible. So I think a lot of these side deck cards too are things people should try out. I think people will find that they are very, very good. And I suspect to see a Trunks list topping in the near future. Quote me on that. I definitely can see this deck doing very well going into Anniversary Box support. So thank you guys again for watching. As always, thank you guys for supporting the channel. And like and subscribe to the video if you guys, for the channel. And then like the video if you guys did like the concept of the deck. And I will see you guys back with more Dragon Ball Masters content.